In 1833, it was a tiny settlement of just 350 people built on a swamp. Today, it is a global powerhouse of 9 million. How did a mud-soaked frontier town become the birthplace of the skyscraper and the industrial heart of America? This is the complete history of Chicago. Before we dive into the fire and the steel, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep-dive historical documentaries. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Long before it was a city, this land was Chigagu, meaning wild garlic, the ancestral home of the Council of the Three Fires, including the Potawatomi. The first permanent non-indigenous settler was Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, a frontier trader who established a thriving post here in the 1780s. By 1803, the U.S. government established Fort Dearborn, marking Chicago's transformation from a trading post to a strategic military frontier. In 1833, Chicago officially incorporated as a town. It was remote, muddy, and ambitious, a place built on the promise of the West. 1848 changed everything. The opening of the Illinois and Michigan Canal linked the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River system. The same year the first railroad arrived, Chicago was no longer just a town, it was the gateway to the American interior, a hub of commerce and migration. The growth was staggering. Within decades, Chicago became the fastest-growing city in the world, attracting immigrants from across Europe and the East Coast. To escape the swamp, Chicagoans literally lifted their city. Entire blocks were jacked up several feet to install a modern sewer system, a feat of engineering unheard of at the time. Did you know Chicago eventually reversed the flow of its own river? To protect its drinking water, engineers forced the Chicago River to flow backwards. But this rapid growth had a fatal flaw. In October 1871, after a long dry summer, Chicago was a tinderbox waiting for a spark. The Great Chicago Fire began in the O'Leary Barn. Fueled by high winds and wooden buildings, the blaze quickly spiraled out of control. For 2 days, the city burned. Historians at the Chicago History Museum note that the heat was so intense it melted steel and crumbled stone. When the rain finally fell, 1/3 of the city lay in ruins. Nearly 100,000 people were left homeless in the wake of the disaster. But Chicago didn't give up. Before the ruins were even cold, the city began to rebuild. This time with stone, iron, and a vision for the future. The story of Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicking over a lantern? Modern research confirms it was a complete fabrication by a reporter seeking a sensational story. In 1884, Chicago gave the world the first skyscraper, the Home Insurance Building. It used a revolutionary steel frame to reach new heights. Chicago became a global center for meatpacking and manufacturing, the city of big shoulders, as Carl Sandburg would famously call it. In 1893, Chicago hosted the World's Columbian Exposition. This white city proved to the world that Chicago had fully risen from the ashes. It was here that the world first saw the Ferris wheel and the potential of large-scale electricity. Chicago was now a beacon of modern civilization. Have you ever visited the Windy City? Let us know your favorite Chicago memory in the comments below. We're just getting into the 20th century. Between 1916 and 1970, the Great Migration saw hundreds of thousands of African Americans move from the South to Chicago in search of opportunity. This era birthed the Chicago blues and a unique jazz scene, forever changing the cultural fabric of the city and the world. The city also faced dark times. During Prohibition, Chicago became synonymous with organized crime and the rise of figures like Al Capone. Crime and corruption cast a long shadow, leading to a decades-long struggle for law, order, and social reform in the city's streets. Following World War II, Chicago expanded rapidly. Suburbs boomed and the city's footprint stretched further into the Illinois prairie. Chicago remained at the forefront of architecture, with masters like Ludwig Mies van der Rohe defining the sleek, modern aesthetic of the mid-century. In 1973, the city reached its peak height with the completion of the Sears Tower, the tallest building in the world for over 20 years. By the late 20th century, Chicago had transitioned from an industrial giant to a global hub of finance, technology, and international culture. Today, the legacy of the Potawatomi, the ambition of DuSable, and the resilience of the fire survivors live on in the vibrant, diverse streets of the city. Chicago remains the impossible city, a place that rose from a swamp to reach the heavens. a testament to human ambition and survival. The story of Chicago is the story of America, rebuilding, growing, and always looking toward the horizon. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, hit the like button and subscribe for more historical documentaries. Until next time, keep exploring.